In 1846, a pirate ship tracks a merchant vessel and strikes when it gets close. A crewman tries to ring the alarm bell, but pirates shoot him before he can warn everyone. Captain Baden hears the bell, grabs his gun, and orders the logbook burned. Pirates split into two groups. One attacks on deck, killing or throwing crew overboard, while the other storms below. Baden fights back fiercely, taking down several pirates, but is eventually captured and knocked unconscious. When he wakes, his ship is lost and most of his crew are prisoners. Pirate Captain Connor questions him about a gold bar marked with his symbol, but Baden stays silent. The pirates then find notes revealing the ship came from Cayman Brac. 6 days later on Cayman Brac, Ursula anxiously waits for her husband Baden's return, scanning the sea with no luck. Meanwhile, Baden's sister Elizabeth secretly meets her boyfriend Weston, who urges her to run away, but she hesitates. When Ursula returns home, a simple alarm system alerts Elizabeth, giving Weston time to hide. Ursula notices a fire starting in the kitchen and quickly handles it before checking on her disabled son, Isaac, helping him with his leg braces. Isaac, tracking the days since his father left, marks day 59 with no sign of him. Later, Ursula confronts Elizabeth for being careless and filling Isaac's head with false hope, but Elizabeth lashes out, frustrated with being stuck on the island. Ursula gathers coconuts and bakes a cake for Isaac's birthday, telling him his father left a gift, a beautiful knife.
Wow, kya baat hai?
A flashback reveals she once used it to free herself and others from dangerous men. Meanwhile, on the shore, Weston secretly meets some shady figures to make a deal. Soon after, Elizabeth leaves a goodbye letter and disappears. Strange shaking bottles wake Ursula, who finds Elizabeth gone and spots a suspicious man outside. As whispers grow, she locks the door, tells Isaac to wear his braces, grabs a gun, and hides him. The men attack, breaking in from above. Ursula shoots one but is overpowered and beaten by the others. When Scout arrives demanding money, she directs him to a hidden spot, but he finds only a few coins and gets angry. During the distraction, Ursula fights back and escapes briefly, injuring one man, but is caught again. Despite being thrown down and dragged away, she reassures Isaac that she's okay. Scout shows Ursula a marked gold bar and demands the rest, but she refuses to speak. Before leaving, he orders his men to break her bones. Meanwhile, Connor arrives on the island, distracting the custodian with vague talk while his pirates approach. Elsewhere, Elizabeth finds Weston dead and screams. As Pastor Bradley spots the pirates, he orders a warning, and the villagers hide in the church. Connor asks for Ursula's location, but the custodian refuses, leading to a fight as pirates open fire and Connor knocks him down. Back at the house, Ursula is hanged, but she keeps herself from choking. When Isaac is discovered, she reveals she understands the attacker's language and fights back fiercely, taking down one man. Using nearby objects as weapons, she battles both attackers and reaches for her knife. As they try to pull her back with a rope, she cuts herself free and continues fighting. When one man goes for Isaac, she defends him, injures both attackers, and protects him while continuing the brutal fight. The second man comes after her, so Ursula slashes up his leg before stabbing him in the head. The henchman is angry to see his brother die, so he tackles Ursula through the window. She tries to crawl away, but the guy hits her with a spyglass. Ursula uses a shell to bring him down and furiously begins beating him up as she asks for her husband. The man dies before he can answer, and everything is seen by Isaac from his hiding spot. On the beach, many local men come after Connor, but he's an excellent warrior and kills them one by one using his sword or his gun. Multiple people on the pier open fire, so Connor hides behind a building and makes sure to shoot the new guy in charge of the cannon. Then he sneaks around the huts and fights the men hand to hand. When another man tries to reach the cannon, the pirates on the boat shoot him first. Connor keeps killing men all over the beach while the custodian rushes to the cannon. He manages to light the fuse, but unfortunately Connor arrives just in time to put it out. At that moment Elizabeth comes looking for help, but she sees the pirates reaching the shore and quickly hides inside a hut. When a man fires from the shadows, the pirates immediately shoot back and cause him to run away. The custodian warns them that the Royal Navy patrols these waters, so they'll be here soon. Connor wants to know where the distress signal is and threatens to shoot the church if he doesn't get an answer, so the custodian tells him it's atop the bluff on the far end of the island. Connor tells the people in the church that as long as they stay inside, they won't get in trouble. Then he fires the cannon at the custodian to kill him. At that moment Scott arrives and tells Connor that they've captured Ursula. In the house, Ursula brings Isaac out and he finds the gold bar on the floor. While they pack, they hear the bottles shaking, so Ursula points her gun at the window, but it's just Bradley. Ursula then washes and changes while Bradley tells her what happened on the beach. Herschel returns, marked like the gold. Bradley explains the pirates are after her and calls her captain. Though reluctant, Herschel changes her mind after Isaac finds Elizabeth's letter revealing she tried to flee with Weston. She gives Isaac the knife, hands Bradley her gun, and tells them to wait under a marked tree while she goes after Elizabeth. Herschel finds Elizabeth in a field, pulls her into hiding, and they reunite. Elizabeth reveals Weston is dead, softening Herschel. Meanwhile, the pirates search Herschel's house, finding bodies but no gold. Connor studies the scene and realizes she has a disabled son. In the woods, Isaac struggles but reaches the marked tree, where they regroup and escape just before the pirates arrive. They cross a creek using a hidden boat, but Bradley stays behind to delay the pirates and is killed by Connor. Herschel is spotted and escapes as chaos erupts when an alligator attacks the pirates in the water. As danger closes in, Elizabeth and Isaac hide while Herschel distracts the men, ambushes them, and fights fiercely to protect her family, killing several attackers. Connor scares off the alligator and calls out to Herschel, threatening to expose her past. She responds defiantly. He then offers a deal, her gold in exchange for someone he's holding alive, to meet at her house by dusk. Afterward, Herschel leads her family to a hidden cave and reveals that Connor was once a colonizer for the East India Trading Company. As a child, Orzel was captured by Connor's crew after they killed her parents and marked her as one of them. To survive life among pirates, she became one herself, earning the name Bloody Mary for her deadly skills. Bowden always knew her past and helped her start over. Now, Orzel prepares for battle, taking out the gold she once stole from Connor and arming herself. Meanwhile, the pirates bring Bowden to the house, making him fear for his family. Connor insists killing Orzel will bring him freedom, despite Lee's concerns. In the cave, Orzel gears up with weapons and armor, sending Isaac and Elizabeth to prepare a boat for escape. That evening, Connor taunts Bowden, claiming he and Orzel were once partners and lovers. Orzel launches a stealth attack, setting traps, killing guards, and sneaking into the house. She creates chaos with smoke and finally finds Bowden. He admits taking gold to help Isaac, and she confirms Connor's story but says it was only for survival. Unable to free him, she hides a knife on him and promises to save him later before escaping. Outside, Orzel faces the pirates and triggers an explosion to hold them back. Connor agrees to trade, and she brings out the gold. As Bowden is freed, Connor mocks her past, but Bowden suddenly attacks him. A fierce battle breaks out. Orzel fights off pirates while grenades explode around them. In the chaos, Lee disables her trap, and Connor overpowers Bowden. Seeing him defeated, Orzel is forced to surrender. Connor threatens to kill Bowden anyway, so Herschel tries to save him, but Lee shoots her leg to make her fall. Bowden gets stabbed in the chest and Herschel talks to him to keep him awake, but he dies anyway. A furious Herschel then retrieves her sword, however Connor immediately disarms her. Herschel wonders why he couldn't just take the gold, so Connor explains that the gold is for his crew and he's here for her bounty. Then Herschel grabs a torch and lights the rope tied to the gold chest. Connor quickly steps away and Herschel falls into the well right before the bomb hidden under the gold explodes. The well crumbles, but Herschel hides in a secret passage. In the cave, Elizabeth is reading an old logbook. It turns out Bowden used to be a dockhand and he met Herschel when she arrived on the island after escaping from Connor with the gold. Herschel is a fake name, but Elizabeth doesn't understand the symbols that spell the real one. When Herschel returns to the cave, she instantly collapses. At the house, Lee is furious because one of the dead pirates was his son and the gold blew up, blaming it all on Connor's obsession with Herschel. He announces that this mission is over and tries to leave, telling the crew to follow him. Connor calls out his mutiny and kills him with 2 shots. Then he shows the other pirates a decree from 3 empires, which offers a lifetime pardon for the person who captures Herschel. Connor gives a speech about freedom and everyone gets excited to help him with the mission. While they burn down the house, Scout finds the hidden passage in the well. Back to Herschel, she drinks alcohol to deal with the pain while Elizabeth takes care of her wounds. Herschel then gives them the bad news about Bowden before closing her wounds with candle wax. Elizabeth asks if the terrible stories from the logbook are true and Herschel confirms she's a terrible person. However, Elizabeth assures her she has changed and convinces her to keep fighting. The youngsters volunteer to help, so together they set up a bunch of traps. When they're done, Herschel hides her family in the boat room. Soon the pirates enter the cave and see a hatch on the ground. They turn a winch hoping to open it, but this triggers a gun that kills a man. After opening the hatch by hand, they find Herschel hiding nearby and open fire, starting a gunfight. Meanwhile, half of the group moves ahead and finds the door, so Elizabeth lights up some explosives to keep the intruders out. Herschel has plenty of weapons ready to fire, so she keeps killing pirates one by one while they take too long to reload. She also shoots a lamp, which sets a man on fire as it falls. Connor starts to shoot several rounds in a row, forcing Ursel to hide. After the explosions are over, Elizabeth checks the door and Scout reaches through a hole to grab her neck. When she looks at him, she discovers he's wearing Weston's necklace. Isaac stabs Scout's arm and manages to make him drop his hand. After Elizabeth sends Isaac to the boat, Scout appears behind her and notices that she has a matching necklace. When he knocks her down, Elizabeth pulls a rope to activate a crossbow that shoots an arrow at Scout, nailing him to the wall. Elizabeth takes Weston's necklace before leaving. In the tunnels, the pirates keep looking for Ursel, who carefully sneaks around and kills them one by one in the darkness. Sometimes she even makes them shoot each other. Connor follows the noise and in the chaos, he shoots one of his own men. Since Connor is the only one left, Ursel runs to hide behind a rock. Connor tells her he wants one last duel and leaves the cave. On the shore, Isaac and Elizabeth get the boat ready. When they look up, they're surprised to see that the signal has been lit. It turns out Connor did it because he wants to hand Ursel to the Navy. When Ursel also comes out of the cave, they start fighting with their blades. They exchange a few blows and Ursel is almost pushed off the edge, but she recovers and keeps fighting. They slash each other a few more times before Ursel stabs Connor in the chest, only for him to headbutt her and stab her leg. Then he punches her and asks her to yield, since he needs her alive to get the bounty. Ursel refuses and gets thrown down, so she takes the chance to throw sand at Connor's eyes. Next, she dodges his attack, causing him to stab the fire instead. Connor throws some flaming wood at Ursel, who uses those logs as weapons. Sadly, Connor overpowers her again and asks her to yield. However, Ursel tells him to end her instead. When Connor is about to kill her, Elizabeth appears behind him and opens fire. Purcell uses the distraction to attack again and stabs Connor, finally killing him. Elizabeth rushes to help Purcell, who tells her that her real name is Miriam. On the boat, Isaac finds some hidden gold bars. The people in the church finally come out when they see the Navy approaching in the distance.